Hello, the game has started and it's me to go first. I have an awful rack. Is it worth changing? No, it's not. I have vlog, which gets rid of 2 of the problem tiles. Is there anything better? No, that looks fine. Vlog, that's a bit better. I've got more balance and a bit more synergy. Don't think there's a bingo. Opponent's play of Kutu creates an opening to the triple word square. So I have habit at K8 across. Or do I have a TH play? Not that I can see, but habit looks good for 38. Not great. Triplicates, duplicates, and a million miles. Well, not a million miles from a bingo, but I was just wondering something like dinnying or something, but it's it's not a great rack. Now I've got ninny. That'll sort out the triplicate issue and a decent rack leave. 20 points. Now we're talking. Dream rack. And I've got an IEST ending. So I've got baldiest, getting the D doubled and the whole word tripled. For 80. Anything better would be a 4-timer. That's not happening through UH. And no front hooks for duvet. So the other option would be a parallel play to ninny. It would require what would it require? 2 vowels and an N, perhaps. But baldiest looks best. Could play through the N, or I could play in column D, ending in ED, for example. Aliased. $73. Opponent yet to make their move. Zia. 42, big score. Baldiest. Zia doesn't really offer anything else for me. Well, it does. Zeal. Dialyzed. I wonder if dialyzed like that. That's 87, so it actually scores more than more than baldiest. Dialyzed. So not a bad rack here. I've got the ER or IER ending, but I don't think there's a bingo here. Reorbited would be a 9. The T looks handy as well. Don't think the D is great with the set of tiles, although I could play through it. Maybe Ridder? Is that a thing? 24. Just wondering if these 7 might combine with a floater to form a 8. Can't think of what it would look like. Override through a V. So there are options, but I don't know about the B. The IER keeps coming to mind as a suffix. And perhaps the ED ending as well. So opponent plays how, and I'm wondering what I should do with this rack. I could get rid of door. I like the rack leave. It combines well with the T. 25's not bad. Yeah, I think I'll go with this. Wow. A few R's, but I do have a blank to work with. So IER ending is definitely going to be the preferred pattern. Furrier with an F, I think, might be good. Any front hooks for how? Now, Furrier does play above the E here at G12 across. This D also looking quite useful with a DER ending. Okay, opponent's play of Bavin scores 32, and Bavin takes an S, I think. Bavins. But Syria no good. Furrier for 69. Val heavy, so not ideal, but I do have Agio as a Val dump. Which does play at 7A. That'd be better than changing. 19 points. Rack leave pretty poor, but certainly better than changing. And I get to close down a hotspot. The other option would be a play through. Oh no, it wouldn't work because of the V. So, where does Agio play apart from column A? Does play here too, but just gives back such an easy score for opponent. I'm less inclined to play there. opponent plays Joel. Agio doesn't play there, but Agi does take a front R hook. Yeah, 30 points. I think I have to take this. It's just too high a score. 30 versus 19. Wow, nah. I think I have to take the points. Actually, OG would be better because Agi takes an R, OG takes a Y. Much of a muchness, but I think this is better. Wow, so I draw a few eyes to go with the Val Heavy rack. So that didn't work out fantastically, but at least I have a C to work with. Now, opponent's player Fiod scores well, 31. Just wondering how to get rid of these eyes. Looking at the B and the R to perhaps combine the two letters with a vowel heavy play. Not seeing anything. What about Bavins and an IS play, or an AS or ES play? Now there is a vowel heavy word. I think it's something like ASK. I wouldn't want to leave 3 I's. Is it ASCII? Why does that ring a bell? Yes, ASCII. And the C actually, the I fell on the double. So that worked out well. Not a great pickup, but I should be able to score with the F and the P. Opponent scores well with paw. Now, Fed and Foe. That's going to be hard to top score-wise. 42. And still the Yoji hook for that Y. Not a great number of bingos beginning with a Y, but there are a few. And I've still got those I's to deal with. Euripi. But yeah, that's not gonna. Now, opponent plays off the Q. I'm looking at words with at least 2 I's in them, like high-oi. Wow, what to do with this rack? REB. That gets rid of 2 I's and it interrupts the B and the I. So I think I'll go with this REB. That's looking a lot better. The X for score. And the Y still unseen. Now I've got apex and ox. That kind of frustrates the T a bit. 35. I'm happy to block this lane if I can. I'll even sacrifice score to do so. The rack itself pretty flexible. Just looking at past. I think Dole with a T might be good, but I don't have a T. 33 is not bad. Oh, wait a minute. Hog with 2 G's is good. Look at this, 50 points. That's going to be hard to top. I don't think there's a bingo here. I was thinking of an ing ending word. And X. Yeah, the X and the PG. X and P does have synergy, but with the G added to the mix, it kind of restricts it a bit. Opponent provides an E floater. Not sure what that helps matters at all, but pegs looks great for 50. Now 3 tiles remain. The T still a floater for bingos. Calcs jumps out on the rack as a 4-letter play. Don't think there's going to be a bingo here, but you never know. I have the EX prefix. Could even start with an REX play. No. So calcs looks pretty good. Opponent plays off the Y finally, and calcs no longer plays. I can't play under the R. I don't have an E. I could play racks for 26. Just scanning the board for any better X spots. Now, does opponent have potential bingo? The T doesn't really help this rack. Too many T's, but there might be some play there. So no need to block that lane. I think it's just about scoring as much as possible now with the X. I can't get across to the double word from this E. So I think racks for 26. Doesn't give me an out in 2, I don't think. Wait a minute, I was just thinking of an X playthrough here, something like X. No, can't see a pattern that works. So, yeah, I think the best thing to do is just to go for score. I don't see a 2 out in 2, although there might be. Relax. That guarantees an out in 2. Does it? What do I do with sin? No, I think I'm just going to go for score. Sometimes the first choice is the better one. Oh, and there was the extra tile. I forgot about that. Now this T combines with these letters to form what? Now Carlin is good without the E at the end. Oh, I thought it finished on the N, yon, but no. Too many letters. What about something ending in the T? No, not seeing it. Cairn. I have cairn and yon, but don't want to leave the C right next to the trip. Doesn't really make sense to do so. Opponent plays tint. Actually, let's see what cairn looks like. $20. Opponent's going to go out anyway, I would have thought. I don't think he can play through the C with these letters. Might be wrong. Yeah, I'm going with that. 20. And then opponent should go out somewhere with his remaining tiles. Yeah, Patus. So final score 464 to 313. Thank my opponent for the game. Let's see what we missed. Okay, vlog seems fine for the opening rack. Opponent's got a bit of a horror show there. Kutu is a good way of sorting out the U's. Habit for 38 was best. Now opponent's got, yeah, some plays there. Nothing scoring overly fantastically. Dine-in. Wow, that's not one you see every day. Next best was Ninny, which I went for. That sorted the N surplus out. Now opponent's got Zia for 42 and dialyzed, yeah, a few 87-point plays there, all starting at 13A. And then Wahine for 40, nice play. Opponent plays How instead. And Odder, yeah, I think I was thinking of Ridder. I don't think it doesn't show here. It's probably not Oh, it's lower down, but, oh, that was through this D. Yeah, that would have made more sense to get the higher score. But I had suggested it through there. I landed up going with door. That's fine. Now, wow, Manab. Nice parallel play for opponent. Goes with Bavin. And then I've got Furrier for 69. Briar from the B. But that gives back an easy score to opponent. Good to know the word, though, for next time, I think. Briar. 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 So Joel for 35 or Joel for 43. Door taking the extra E. So opponent goes with Joel. Then I've got OG for 30, which looks best. And opponent getting close now to the bingo. No playable bingo. Fiod scores well. ASCII for 32 was the highest score, but Lay being suggested. Where was Lay? Ah, there. 21 and Zitty. Okay, but I don't know. I think I'm still happy with ASCII for the score and taking out the lane. So opponent, there, as you can see, opponent would have got in for some points there because he did have an S as well. And goes with Paw, that looks fine. Foe for 42 was playable there at B6 down. That was the best on offer. And then Chi was the top play for opponent. Spots that. Pirai, that's nice. Ori B for 9, but Pirai would have been better. Yeah. Yeah, those obscure 5-letter words, I need to brush up on those because they can really help control the board as well. Taking out these floaters as bingo floaters. Well, the T still available when starting with a T. But yeah, Pirai, a nice play. Anyway, I managed to get rid of 2 I's and started to close the board down a bit. Also took out this lane as a bingo lane because the E, there are quite a number of bingos beginning with an E. So something like Emanates, which opponent almost had. He doesn't have a bingo there. Idem. And then pegs for 50. Yeah, that was best. Opponent a bit consonant heavy. Goes with my. Now I've got racks for 26, which Sims low down, but XI for 18. Strong rack leave. I suppose at this stage I'm not going to be I'm not going to be losing the game even if opponent goes out on a bingo. It would have to be a very high scoring bingo to lose at this stage, even with the count back. So maybe I should have just played off the X, and tried to go for a bingo with the remaining tiles. Although with no E's to come and just A's and a U as vowels, I don't think bingo prospects were very high anyway. So I think at the back of my mind I was just thinking go for maximum score, which is what I did. And then opponent had Fens for 24, but goes with Tint. And then Crayon, that would have been nice, for 22. I went with Can. And then opponent goes out with Patus. And that was the end of the game. So, yeah, not a bad game. I had a pretty good run of the tiles there, I'd say, and at certain points in the game, like pegs and foe, just seemed to kind of fall into place quite nicely. That doesn't happen all the time. Hope you enjoyed watching that game, and I will see you next time.